What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at a couple of cards which, quite frankly, are really very good and let you play extra cards. Now, as I sit here and record, we are less than 2 weeks away from the actual release of the Transformers trading card game Wave 3, War for Cybertron Siege, and we are now going through the few battle cards we've yet to have a chance to look at. But these two are ones that, well, they excite me a little bit more than your average ones. And we're going to start off with Anticipation Engine, because, you know, it's alphabetically first. And let's face it, it's one of the first in the set. But anyway, less about that. More about what Anticipation Engine actually does. Now, it's a weapon. In fact, it is alphabetically the first card in the entire set, though that doesn't really mean very much. And it's got a white icon. White icons are good when you flip one while attacking or defending. If it's the first one you flipped, then you get to flip an extra 2 cards. And we have in previous videos, and I'm not going to go over them very much today, but we've talked about Private Taraxodon from Wave 3, and we've also talked about some of the Wave 1 cards. I'm thinking Jazz, Mirage, and Chromia, all of whom are pretty big on using white icons, so there's some options there. If you want to go fully white, if you want to play a completely white deck, this might be one that you want to have a little bit of a look at. But it's so much more than just a card of a white icon, ladies and gentlemen, because what it does, it is a weapon, and when the upgraded character attacks, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an action card, you may play it. Just straight off the bat. Just lets you play an extra action card. That's nice, ladies and gentlemen. That's really nice. Now, it's not the first card ever that's let us play an extra action card. I mean, the most famous of which is getting a reprint in Wave 3. It is Brainstorm, which lets you play an action card, then an extra action card. But don't forget, we had all of the multi-cards back in Wave 1. I say all, there are only 2 of them, that helped out them, they're a specialist. And multi-mission gear is an armor. When you put it on a specialist, you may play an action. Now, this is only going to be relevant for the odd specialist out there, but this can actually be really, really nice, because of course, you can now play both multi-mission gear and Anticipation Engine onto the same character. Now, multi-mission gear gives you an extra action when you attach it. Anticipation Engine gives you an extra action when you attack. And that's potentially a lot of extra action throughout the game. Although we do need to really be clear here. Multi-mission gear, you have to have the extra action in hand at the time. And Anticipation Engine, you've got to have an action on top of your deck. Because if you reveal the top card of your deck and it's an upgrade, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that ain't gonna fly. You don't get to use it. But then, of course, you can keep doing this. This isn't a one-shot deal. So multi-mission gear, you attach it, you play an extra action, but that's it. It's sitting there giving you +1 defense, but that's all it does for the rest of the game. Whereas Anticipation Engine, you can potentially be doing this over and over and over again. And yeah, sure, maybe your opponent plays a ramming speed to get rid of it. And you know what? If they do, they do. But outside of that, this can really, really help. I mean, we've all seen how much fun Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend has playing extra actions when he attacks. And this can kind of keep doing it. What's pretty awesome here, and I'm not sure you'd necessarily want to, but you could attach this to an Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend, and then you're getting potentially 2 extra actions. And if your deck is full of cards like Zap, you're doing a bunch of extra damage. Or maybe you flip a ramming speed to get rid of one of your opponent's upgrades. And what's awesome here, if we have a look at the language, because the language is very important, when you attack, you reveal the top card of your deck. I believe that's before you start flipping for attack, defense, etc. So maybe you can get rid of one of your opponent's upgrades and help yourself out that way. There's no guaranteed silver bullet definitely going to win thing going on here. You could put this on a character and attack 5 times and always flip an upgrade and get no benefit from it whatsoever. And if you do, you do. It's a risk you'd take playing any card like this. But the fact of the matter is, Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend has been amazing because it can play extra actions. We've seen over at Origins this past weekend, I've heard reports that Bumblebee Trusted Lieutenant has seen a little bit of play and a little bit of love. Because you can play extra actions. I'm not saying Anticipation Engine is going to see a huge amount of play. I'm saying it might. The biggest downside here, of course, is that it's a weapon that doesn't increase your attack. And that's a huge problem. There's a bunch of stuff out there like Field Communicator, for instance, which can boost your attack without being in your weapon slot. It's a utility. That's awesome. If you can boost your attack without having to use a weapon, that's awesome. But here you're using a weapon without boosting your attack. And if you've got a melee character, then you're giving up something like Power Sword, potentially. If you're a ranged character, you're giving up something like Armed Hovercraft, etc., etc. And I do worry just a little bit that this is going to end up not being quite good enough, because as much as you want to play the extra actions, and as good as it is and as fun as it is playing extra actions, you're going to keep sitting there going, oh, wait, no, because I need extra attack from my weapons. But we do need to look at a pair of cards today, and I'm going to be honest with you, right? At this stage, given that we're looking at a pair and given what the first one does, you can probably guess what the second one does. It's an upgrade utility, and when the upgraded character attacks, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an upgrade, you may play it. So again, it's literally the opposite. Obviously, if you're playing a 20 upgrade, 20 action deck, then you're just as likely to hit each. But if you're playing a really upgrade heavy deck, let's say you're playing something like Megatron Arrogant Ruler, which when you flip it into alt mode, you get to attach an extra upgrade. And when you're in bot mode and you attack, you can discard a card from your hand, an upgrade, and draw 2 cards. So in that situation, you're probably playing a whole bunch of upgrades, probably more than actions, in which case a card like this becomes much more likely to fire, and hence much, much better. In an upgrade-heavy deck, I love this. And there's plenty of ways to play extra upgrades. I've already told you about Megatron Arrogant Ruler. We had new designs back in Wave 1 that just lets you play an extra upgrade. And of course, we talked about multi-mission gear, so we should probably mention multi-tool, which lets you play an upgrade. And again, multi-tool is a weapon and this is a utility, so there's nothing to stop you playing multi-tool to play an extra upgrade and attaching this to the same character so that you can just continually play extra upgrades. And remember, multi-tool does not make you play an upgrade onto the character onto which you put multi-tool, and Metal Detector does not make you play an upgrade onto the character that has Metal Detector. You can play the upgrades onto any character you gosh darn well like, which of course could be pretty gosh darn huge. As for the pips, we got a green pip. I love the green pip here. It means you're going to be able to play it. Either you draw into it and you can attach it, or you flip it while attacking or defending, and because it's got a green icon, you can swap it with another card at the end of the battle, a card from your hand. So you should feel pretty good about being able to play this at some point. There's a lot to like about this. And then, of course, you've got the black icon, gives you PS1 until end of turn. Every time you flip a black icon. That's pretty gosh darn good. And it's a rare example as far as I'm concerned, and please feel free to argue with me in the comments, but it's a rare exception as far as I'm concerned in terms of it is a black pip card that's really quite good. Most of them are just underpowered versions of existing cards. This is kind of like new designs as an upgrade, except it's got the black icon as well and the green icon. I really like it. Now, we do have the same problem we did just have with Anticipation Engine, and that is to say, it doesn't actually give you any kind of boost. No extra attack, no extra defense, no pierce, no tough, no bold. You just get to attach an extra upgrade if it's a top card of your deck, which it might be, but there's no guarantee that it will be. I like both of these cards very much. Playing extra actions, playing extra upgrades is a great thing to do. You get to play one of each on your turn. So now being able to come in and play an extra ones is pretty gosh darned awesome. But I don't know if they're good enough outside of that. They're not giving you any kind of attack or defense boost, and you're playing them instead of other weapons and other utilities. I mean, I've not listed off a bunch of utilities you could be playing instead, But as much as Dinobots love their upgrades, do you think they're playing this over a Jaws of Steel? Probably not, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Probably not. I like these cards, I'm very interested in them, and I think people are going to make great decks with them. I mean, one of the decks that I've not been able to make work perfectly, but one I've been playing around with, is a combination of Bumblebee Trusted Lieutenant and Wave 1 Mirage, such that you can just play a whole bunch of extra actions during your turn. And in a deck like that, playing Anticipation Engine, you've got the white icon for Mirage, which I'm loving, and it's an extra action, and both Mirage and Bumblebee get to play an extra action when you flip them into alt mode. So here, having Anticipation Engine letting you play more actions in a deck where I'm looking to play majority actions anyway, yes! Absolutely all of the yes. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I like them, but I don't know if we're going to be able to find space on our characters for them. But I would very much like to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Transformers and a whole bunch of others. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.